Good morning, beloveds. I was trying to get Gabby to come on camera today, and she was not having it. She's a tiny little orange tabby. She weighs about 7 pounds, and she's named Gabby for a reason because she talks a lot. And she is. We also call her. We call her Lady Screams a lot because she just has. She's got one volume and it's loud, and she always sounds angry when she's talking to you, and she's generally not. I mean, we also call her the barbarian baby because she's all attitude, just all attitude. But she's also 15, maybe 16. And for the most part, you would know that she was 15. Every now and again, you'll see a little bit of, oh yeah, she's up there. Because I think by the time you're 16, you're like 80 in cat years. And, but most of the time, she's just like, no! And she's developed this obsession lately that I'm not sure what to do with, where she stands in my shoes. I haven't caught a picture of it yet, but she either stands in them or lays on them, and I'm just like, and she's a little dangerous to pick up because and I got her in here, and then before I could get the camera on, she was gone. Oh well, she's you see Rita, and Rita's the 14-pound orange tabby, and Rita's really laid back and loves people, and Gabby is 7 pounds and all attitude. I don't know. She's the chihuahua of my cats, I guess. Except she is all bark and bite. She's both. But she was not having it this morning. Oh well, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll try and get Hayes on, but most likely what's going to have to happen for Hayes and Gabby, I'm going to have to go to them. They are not going to come to the live stream. So, I don't know. Cats. Alright, it is July 17th. It is Wednesday. Our title today is, ironically, or not, I think it's very appropriate actually, not ironic. Today I live. The wise Master Jesus taught that the knowledge of truth makes us free. All books of spiritual wisdom have said that it is not the one who makes the mistake whom we should seek to destroy. It is the mistake itself that must be erased. This means that evil has no existence in itself and has no history. No matter what the negations of yesterday may have been, the affirmations of today rise triumphant and transcendent over them. Thus, all the evils of our yesterdays disappear into their native nothingness. If we behold beauty instead of ugliness, then beauty will appear. If we persist in seeing the true rather than the false, then that which is true will appear. Let us then cease weeping over the shortcomings and mistakes and evils of our yesterday, and steadfastly beholding the face of the great and divine reality, let us resolve to walk into the light wherein there is no darkness. Definitely I know that every negative condition of the past is cleared away from my consciousness. I no longer think about it, see it, or believe in it, nor do I believe that it has any effect whatsoever on my experience. Yesterday is not, tomorrow is not, but today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today I live. That's very quantum physics. That each moment we're being created and destroyed. And so, I don't know. Anytime you try and explain quantum physics, when you have a bare knowledge of it, it's difficult. And I have a bare knowledge of it. We covered it in several classes in school, and I've read a couple of books, and it's mind blowing. And it's the choices and the atoms and the observer, and that's one of the things about it, is that the observer, when things are happening, there's always an observer, and the observer, even if you're not directly interacting, you're still affecting. And so that's kind of what he's talking about today. Okay, so the wise master Jesus taught that the knowledge of truth makes us free. What truth? Ernest has been talking about truth the entire year. Okay, all books of spiritual wisdom have said that it is not the one who makes the mistake whom we must seek to destroy. And when I read that, I was like, I'm not sure where he's going with this, and I'm a little scared, but it's a powerful statement that the one who makes the mistake shouldn't be destroyed, but educated and loved to bring them around to the truth. So, I mean, it gives you some thought about probably our criminal justice system, along with just our social justice and everything else. It is the mistake itself that must be erased. And how do we erase a mistake? We make better choices. We learn and do better. As Maya Angelou says, when we know better, we do better. And so it's the mistake itself that must be erased. So how do we go about... Well, one, our first responsibility is ourselves. So we educate ourselves, we learn, and we make better choices. And then we can be an example. And then that way, when people come to us and go, well, why are you happy? Then, and so it dominoes out that way, is the idea. I don't have the answer. That's just my beginnings of an answer. So what he says is, this means that that evil has no existence of itself, has no history. That's kind of hard when you see some of the people in history and you're like, but they were evil. They were children of God. They are not inherently evil. They made evil choices. And that means that everybody's capable of redemption. Hardball metaphysics. No matter what the negations of yesterday may have been, the affirmations of today rise triumphant and transcendent over them. There's always hope. There's always hope. Thus, all of the evils of our yesterday disappear into their native nothingness. Nothingness. No thing. When we know better, we do better. If we behold beauty instead of ugliness, then beauty will appear. What you focus on, you will see more of. So today, if I tell you, hey, you're going to see a pink elephant, so you're going to spend the day, even if just subconsciously, looking for the pink elephant. And you will find the pink elephant. So why not program yourself to look for the beauty? That's one of the things that I started doing at the beginning of this experience that we're having with the pandemic, is that I made it a goal to find something beautiful every day that I could take a picture of, and then I could share it. And some days I find lots of beautiful things, and some days I come away with one. Yeah, so I'm actively training myself to look for the beautiful. By giving myself a goal of taking a picture of it. So if we persist in seeing the true rather than the false, then the true will appear. So hardball metaphysics says that as we look at people, We want to see the truth about them, including ourselves, that we are beloved children of God. And then we will see it. Now, does that mean to put yourself in toxic situations with toxic people? No, you are allowed to do it from afar. So don't put yourself in dangerous situations just because you want to see the good in somebody. I am a realist, along with being an optimist. Let us then cease weeping over the shortcomings and the mistakes and evils of our yesterday, and steadfastly beholding the face of the great and divine reality, let us resolve to walk in the light wherein there is no darkness. Okay, that's a really long sentence, and basically what I'm going to walk away from that sentence saying is, because you see it, you hear it, don't cry over spilled milk, but that goes back to the teaching of Jesus to turn the other cheek. Change your perspective. Focus on what you want, not what you don't. Because they say what you resist persists. So if you're focused on how much you dislike this, then you're feeding it. You're feeding it your energy. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see more of that. So instead, turn away from that. Focus on what you want. Focus on and put your energy into that. And you will see more of that. Yeah. So definitely I know that every negative condition of the past is cleared away from my consciousness. That's a lesson in letting go. Don't let the guilt and the shame hold you in bondage. Let it go. We all make mistakes. We are human. We make mistakes. And what we need to do is say, I have made a mistake. Let me make it right and then move on. Don't let the shame and the guilt of the mistake that you made bind you to that mistake. Don't carry it with you. Let it go. Make it right and then let it go. I no longer think about it, see it, or believe in it. Nor do I believe that it has any effect whatsoever on my experience. Yesterday is not. Tomorrow is not. But today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. The truth is, we only live in the now. And it's Lao Tzu. I found out that it was Lao Tzu that said, when we live in the past, that creates depression. And when we live in the future, that creates anxiety. If you live in the now, that can create peace. Because when we are living in the past, we're probably beating ourselves up over mistakes that we've made. Or sometimes we're waiting for, we're wishing to go back to the golden days. Well, if we're wishing to go back to the golden days, we are not making golden days now. And the same thing with the future. If you're worried about the future, or not even if you're anticipating the future, and I'm not saying anticipating the future is bad. What I'm saying is if you're constantly looking forward, either with concern or worry, or anticipation, then you're not living in the now. You're not excited about the now. You're not having that golden moment now. And I'm not saying that looking forward to stuff is wrong. Absolutely not. I mean, that's why we plan. We plan to do things. And that's one of the things that has made this experience with the pandemic so hard, is because all of those plans went away. That's what's been hard. All of the plans went away. And so we're left with making the now golden. We're left with making the now golden. But if we were doing that all along, maybe the pandemic wouldn't have, that experience of the pandemic wouldn't have been as hard for us. I joked with a friend of mine that 2020 has become the year that wasn't. And Ernest is smacking me today. There are all these things that, because I was a little melancholy when I saw a memory yesterday that by yesterday, I had done 8 5Ks last year. And this year I've only done 2. But I've kept running. Just because I can't run a 5K with 3,000 of my new best friends doesn't mean that I've stopped running. And so I'm going to let the melancholy go of the fact that I've only gotten to do 2 5Ks and remember that now I'm still running. I still run the 3 days a week. And that eventually I will get to do the 5Ks again. Okay, the last sentence is, today I live. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to focus on the beautiful, and to let the mistakes go. Make them right and let them go. Do not chain yourself with shame and guilt to the mistakes that you have made. Focus instead on doing well. Jesse said we've got to do better than better. We want to do well. So focus instead on the beautiful. Focus instead on the reality of the divine. Focus instead on finding and filling your divine pattern. Focus instead on being that child of God. All right, so do something kind for yourself. Do something loving for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Open your windows. Step outside. Go for a walk. Do something that's to stimulate your mind and your soul. Go find something beautiful today. And that includes looking in the mirror and recognizing the beauty of you. All right. Yesterday is not. Tomorrow is not. But today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today, I live. So today, go live. All right. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Reverend David will be back on with you sometime after 5 today. And do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day.